She was a fairy. She was a fairy. You guys are not going to believe this. This all ties into the vampire. Okay, guys, like, alright, this is alternative history, okay? So, this is all theories, alright? But I've been researching. Alright, I've been digging, because you guys have gotten me to the point where I'm like... And I brought my iPad on my little lovely walk, and I never bring my iPad. But guys, we're going to get into it right now. This is fucking crazy. This is so insane what I've discovered and how it all ties together. According to that book, Dragon Legacy by Nicholas de Vere, the vampire, the dragon king or queen, was an archdruid, a witch queen or king, fairy prince or princess amongst the race of the Elfame. Now, the vampire, witch, fairy, and dragon were all the same individual, okay? Now, what is the Elfame? The Elfame is the fairy queen, alright? She is known also as the Morrigan, mother of Danu, Nick Nevin, also in documents seen in witch trials. Witch, okay? But she's ultimately Lilith, alright? And so, who's Lilith? Lilith came from the Ubaid people, and the Ubaid people, they had red hair, and her descendants were the Scythians, are also known as the Tartarians, which are the dragon overlords of what is now known as Transylvania and Greater Scythia. Lilith is the queen of the fairies. She is the dragon overlord. She is who's that chick in the House of the Dragon? She's that lady. She's the real. In a book by Thomas the Rhymer in 1220 to 1298, he quotes, "By the Queen of the Fairies, I am not the Queen of Heaven, Thomas. That name doesn't belong to me, but I am the Queen of Fair Elfame. Come out to hunt in my folly." And you know, guess what? They say that Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, Shakespeare, and all these great writers and others were initiated into the true secret history of the world. And guess what they always talked about? Elves, dwarves, fairies, all this crazy stuff in a world that goes through a portal, like a mirror world beyond ours, that's only allowed through the sacred blood. Like, look in C.S. Lewis, right, with all those kids that were like rulers over Narnia. She was the inspiration for Shakespeare in Midsummer's Night Dream. She is Queen Titania. Now, the Queen of Fairyland, Lilith, can steal the heart of any man. We've heard this in Lilith lore, like, she can seduce men. Now, Nick Nevin means daughter of the divine, and she's also connected to Samhain or Samhain, same as Lilith. And as some claimed in Wiccan and pagan traditions, Lilith is associated with that date. She's related to witchcraft in the spirits of the dead. Now, guys, witchcraft only works for those who have special blood, like these people do, okay? That's according to de Vere in his book Dragon Legacy. That's why a lot of people's witchcraft doesn't really work, because they don't have the blood or the proper connections in their brains. But she also has similarities with the goddess Hecate. I'm sorry if I get that wrong. But they're ultimately telling the same story of the dragon overlords, dragon royalty of Samaria, which dates back to the Ubaid overlords of what is now known in Transylvania and Greater Scythia. Now, how is Shakespeare involved in all this? Shakespeare pulls this from, obviously, like, if he's initiated into the real truth of the world, here's how it's all connected. There's a goddess named Ain. She's a midsummer goddess. Okay, Midsummer's Night Dream, midsummer goddess, Irish goddess represented by the red mare. And Lilith and her descendants have red hair. Also, Ain is known as the fertility goddess, related to fertility, and commands over crops and animals, just like the Queen of Fairyland. Come on, guys, what's that saying in Tolkien's goddamn the beginning? History turns into myth turns into legend, or some shit. Like, Look, he was telling us, what if he was telling us a real story of the true history of the world, just like C.S. Lewis, in different ways, and we just have to figure it out? What if that's why the Lord of the Rings really resonates with us at a deep level, because our ancestors knew this shit? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. All right, the queen of the fairyland is Lilith, okay? And she's related to Ain, all right? Ane, sorry if I get it wrong, guys. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But guess what? Ane had 2 daughters. Her 2 daughters, she said, don't marry anyone. But both her daughters ended up eloping. And so Ane, in her misery, closes herself off, locks herself in, and communes with the Sidhe, or the elves. And these people are elven kings. All right? Like Lilith and all them elven kings, priestesses, dragon overlords of history. And they all relate back to Cynthia, greater Cynthia, okay? Or Tartaria. Guys, and that's... It sounds crazy, all right? But the further you dig, it's just too many connections, too many coincidences. All of them are talking about the same woman. The same exact woman, and it goes back, and that they live in parallel worlds, okay? Like a world beyond ours, where you have to step into some portal or vortex in order to get to this world. And it's not just accessible by anyone either. Like how many stories have you guys heard of people like stepping into like a vortex into the forest, and then they disappear, and then they end up somewhere far, far away? Like, there's magic in these woods, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where they, like, look, the vampire is something that's basically similar to, like, the House of the Dragon. Like, supernatural dragon royalty. People, old ancient bloodline that used to rule this world, keep balance and help out Middle Earth or men. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I know I'm a little excited, all right? But this is how I kind of get when shit starts clicking in my head. I know it sounds crazy. But vampires aren't like the bloodsuckers. They did need rituals, and they did need blood, because they had superhuman consciousness, and they had transcendent abilities. I mean, like, able to talk to animals, do things with the crops, win the hearts of anyone. That's superhuman shit. Okay, now, I don't know, guys. Fairyland, all that stuff, fairies, witches, dragons, real, but we've been programmed through myth to think that they're not. But all our ancestors were telling the same exact story, and what if that story's in fact true? What if that's it? Okay, and Lilith and her people, the red-haired, beautiful, green-eyed, pale, rhesus negative blood people, are the true people. And that's why the church took them out. Oh my God, guys. Because, like, if the church takes out the bloodline, then there's nobody that can stand up and revolt against the powers that be right now that have corrupted all of this shit. Oh, okay. All right. That's it. Tell me your thoughts.